Hello everyone, my name is Justin Fry. I'm a CPA and investment advisor representative and I work with Kane Waters and Associates. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Kane Waters or who have not heard of our firm, a little background on us. This is a disclosure slide on Kane Waters. But just a little bit about our firm, what our purpose is, what our mission statement is. We're a CPA firm based out of Frisco, Texas. We work with over 3,000 dentists now in all specialties in all 50 states. What our mission is that we want to create financial security for our clients. We help them navigate through every single financial decision from the time they buy a practice to the time they retire and beyond. In our services, you hear CPA firm and you kind of think to yourself that we're bookkeepers and tax preparers. And while we do offer those services, we primarily focus in the business strategy, financial planning, investment advisory, transition, so buying a practice, selling a practice. That's where we focus with our clients on. And it's a lot of hand-holding. We are oftentimes the most important financial person in our clients' lives, and we really grow with them. We see our kids grow old together, and so that's who we are as a firm. Okay? Today, my inspiration to you and to help you understand what the Secure Act is. Okay, so the Secure Act is really a solution to a problem, and that's what our call is here. There is a problem that we have in the United States, and that's with retirement funds. So to help you understand what the solution is and why it's there, I'm going to walk you through a little bit what the problems are. Okay? Secure Act stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. That's a mouthful. That's why they call it the Secure Act. Okay? And for those who have not heard about it, the Secure Act was originally released in December of 2019, and then its successor is the Secure 2.0 Act. Okay? Secure Act was 2019. Secure 2.0 was December of 2022. Okay? And for the lack of going into too much depth on it, I'm going to give you some high-level overviews. But again, I want you to be aware of what the problems are and why the Secure Act exists today. Okay? I love this slide. It's from Warren Buffett, one of the most prolific investors in our nation's history. It's really kind of eye-opening and it's really simple. But if you look at the words, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. And that's a novel concept, me included, right? We make money and we want to spend it on our families and on adventures and all these types of things. And we spend very little time thinking about or enacting a game plan to save for retirement. Okay? So what is the problem? Okay, I show you Warren Buffett and I'm going to show you what some of our recommendations are. But really, what is the problem? So this slide's fascinating if you can see it to the side of me. How much American families have saved for retirement? Okay? And I want to really dig into this for a second because I think a lot of people just say, well, I know I'm in the 1% and that doesn't really mean much. But okay, you don't see 1% of $5 million or more saved for retirement. In fact, less than 10% of all Americans have left less than $500,000 saved for retirement. Okay, and this is really eye-opening, and it's not surprising to anyone, right? But if you really think about that, and we don't like to think about that until we get closer to that stage, and then we kind of go into panic mode, right? But we want to really, really focus on what does that mean, okay? So the problem lies within each and every one of us, okay? That's a call to action, which we'll talk about here in a second, okay? And so you, again, digging into the problem here, why are people not saving? Okay, and I think this slide is interesting, and it's a straw poll, and we'll go through each one of them, and I'll give some clarity on it. But 53% said, I can't afford to. Okay, let's just put that over to the side. That's understandable. We're talking to everyone here. Okay, the audience that I'm talking to, that's absolutely not the case. Let's go to the next one. 22% say, I intend to keep working later on in life. Okay, I've had conversations with you, my clients, other dentists out there. It's hard on your neck. It's hard on your back. It is a lot to run a small business, especially post-COVID. I know that this doesn't pertain to many of you. Okay, so let's slide that one to the side. Okay, 19%. I don't know what to do. Okay, I know that you guys are a part of a tremendous group here. You each break out in your own respective cities, and you're all intellectually curious. So I don't know what to do. That might be partially true, but there are resources in abundance that can help you understand what you can do about that. Okay, and so that's really a good one to stop and say, okay, that's a call to action right there. Okay, I don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, you need to reach out to someone and make sure you do know what to do. Okay, and then 16% say, I have competing financial priorities. Okay, I'm laughing there because it's pretty interesting that you have differentiating financial priorities. What does that really mean? We're too impatient. We have other things that we want to spend money on because it's a lot less sexy to set money aside than it is to buy a bigger house, a lake house, things of that nature. And so I'm not saying that every dollar that you make you need to set aside, right? But it's a balancing act. And really the call is that you set up your own game plan to say, I need this amount in retirement. Again, going back to Warren Buffett, I'm going to set this much aside, the rest I can spend. Okay, and then you work with an advisor that shows you how to increase the profitability of your practice, and then you have more to spend. It's great. Okay? And I love this. So Carl Richards wrote a book called The Behavior Gap. Okay, and I love this diagram. I use it in every single slide deck that I've ever put together, and it's things that matter, okay, and things that I can control, and where you spend your time. You all are so incredibly busy each and every day, including the weekends with your families and your business, that you don't have time to really dig into the minutia. Again, that's where advisors come in, okay? And so when you look at that, how many of us are guilty on spending too much time on the things that matter, but you have no control, right? And then very much so on the other side as well, things that you can control, but it's minutia. It's not gonna change the grand scheme of your retirement outlook. Okay, and so Carl Richards' book, I would highly recommend it. It's called The Behavior Gap, and it's why we do stupid things with our money or lack thereof. Okay, and so it's a great read, but I love that slide. Okay, the safe withdrawal rate. Say, what is the 4% rule? For those who have not heard what the 4% rule is or haven't seen it, okay, it's basically stipulating that you can withdraw 4% of your retirement assets each year in retirement, okay, assuming that you have moderate investments in a 30-year window for retirement, from retirement to the time you pass, okay? So the safe withdrawal rate's kind of interesting, right? You do the quick and dirty math and you say $1 million is $40,000 a year. That's $3,500 a month. So let's walk that backwards and think about how much we are spending. And so that should shoot something up your spine to say, oh my goodness, I need to reevaluate, quote unquote, what my number is. And inside of that, there's a lot of ands, ifs, and buts that you need to sit down and talk to someone about, because that is not Bible. There's other retirement assets. There's other, avenues of revenue. Okay, mailbox money, so passive investments, active investments. There's a variety of income coming in, but it's really important to know that. If nothing else, that should be a generality, okay? Other factors at play. So we're still in what is the problem here, okay? So what did we just say? We are not saving enough, okay, but we can rely on Social Security, right? And so just to take you a step back, what is Social Security? So Social Security was put in effect by FDR in 1935 as part of the New Deal. It started as a welfare program, and then it became what we know it as today, and it supplements our income in retirement, okay? But you open up the Social Security Administration website, and what does it tell us, okay? It tells us that it provides benefits to over 50 million individuals and is financed by 150 million workers, okay, through our paychecks. Okay, so Social Security takes out 6.2% on both the employee and employer side, and that's supposed to supplement retirees' income once they've retired. Okay, the issue is, and this is on their site, they are set to run out of benefits in 2037. Okay, they can only supplement 76% of the anticipated benefit that they are set to provide. Okay, so what's going to happen? They either need to adjust it, there needs to be a reduction in benefits, or an increase in payroll tax rate. And so you start thinking about that, especially when we talk about lawmakers and people on the Hill. Neither one of those sounds attractive to those who vote, okay? So thinking to ourselves, we're not saving enough, but we can depend on Social Security. But if we're looking at that, right, the website itself is showing us that we probably cannot rely on Social Security. So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. And if you, depending on your age, are depending on Social Security in retirement, think again, talk to someone. I would recommend planning without that, okay? Okay, so there's the problem. What is the solution? Okay, when we talk about the Secure Act, the first Secure Act is really there to make it more advantageous to put dollars into retirement and more flexible so that we can have those dollars more accessible to us than the rules suggested before. Okay, so in December 2019, a few bullet points here as to the changes that were made, and it's important to know what these are, but it's an extensive list. Okay, and someone should walk you through which of these are applicable to you and which aren't. Again, go through the list. It's incredibly impactful, and it makes you think 2 or 3 times about, okay, I wasn't saving this because of this reason, and probably the Secure Act or Secure 2.0 Act nullified some of those fears. Okay, Secure 2.0 was 10 times the size of Secure in terms of there were 92 provisions set forth. And again, the whole purpose here is strengthening incentives for retirement savings, dollars going in, dollars coming out. And if you read inside those 92 provisions, this is for all Americans, okay? Not just those who are nearing retirement, not just for those younger, it's really for everyone. So the government is stepping in and saying, okay, we see that people aren't saving for themselves. People are relying on Social Security, but guess what? We're running out of funds, okay? So this is a call to action as to whether it's forcefully or through incentives, providing this to the American people to help them save more. Okay, and I go back to the Warren Buffett just to really knock you over the head with this fact that you should don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So burn that in your brains. Okay, and you know, if you've never been shown compounding interest, it's the 8th wonder of the world, and it's really incredible in terms of the charts that you look at, and you can look at a million different examples of this. This is a really good one. So an investor that starts at 25 sets aside $5,000 a year for 10 years, again, starting at age 25, versus investor 2 in the orange, so someone that starts at 35, $5,000 a year for 30 years. Okay, and then you get to age 65, guess who's on top, assuming an 8% growth rate. Okay, it's going to be investor 1, despite less dollars put in total. So not only should you save as early as you possibly can. Okay, another great example, since we're here in LA at your wonderful conference, or very, very close to LA, is Shohei Ohtani. Okay, so those who don't know Shohei Ohtani, he's a professional baseball player. His new contract is $700 million. Okay, let that soak in just for a second. But he is deferring $680 million for 10 years. Okay, so whenever the experts went back and looked at what his value was, how you put a value on someone is very complicated, but whenever they put a value on him, it was between $450 and $500 million over 10 years. Okay, for a lot of different reasons, he deferred his compensation, but to do so, it's no longer $450 or $500 million. The exact number here was $460 million. Okay, so what is $460 million paid out 10 to 20 years from now? It's $700 million. So again, these numbers are mind-boggling, but it's a great example of that compounding growth that we just talked about. Okay, so my challenge to each of you is relatively simple. It's to put together a strategy, figure out how much you are going to save, the rest is what you spend, okay? And then map out your distribution strategy. Don't depend on inheritances or Social Security. Do this on your own. Take the bull by the horns and start saving. And please, 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 whether it's Kane Waters or someone else, consult an advisor to help you through this. It is not easy. They make it more convoluted than it needs to be, but please seek out an advisor. Okay? Lastly, our resources at Kane Waters and our affiliates, there's podcasts that you can listen to. There's the How Does Your Practice Compare report. These are great resources. A lot of them revolve around how much you're saving, so great, great resources. Okay? Plenty of ways to contact us and our affiliates. But I'm so happy that we got to talk just for a little bit today. This is my practice inspiration video. I'm Justin Fry with Kane Waters, and I hope you enjoyed this.